Okay guys, so we're going to try something a little bit different here. Um, See if we can use slide view to get a map lesson. So one of the skills that you need to be able to do in Social Studies 11 is to be able to look at an outline map of Europe as well as other maps and to know from the shapes what countries are located where, and then use the information about those countries in order to be able to answer questions to show your understanding of history. Okay, so here's the goal. This is a map of Europe in 1914, and you'll notice that three countries are colored in yellow and three countries are colored in red. From our previous lessons, you know that Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy, colored in yellow, were part of the Triple Alliance created in the 1880s, and that France and Russia and England, or Britain more correctly, were the members of the Triple Entente, and that the Triple Entente was created as a means of balancing the Triple Alliance, and in this way countries hope to use collective security to stop war. Okay, so here's an example of a provincial exam question. You can see that the countries are not labeled in any other way than by letters, and a question here says, in which pair of countries did Canada fight in World War I? So you need to be able to look at country U, Z, V, W, X, and Y, and to know from that which two countries were the ones that Canada fought in. And obviously, if you don't know where the countries are in relation to one another and the oceans around them, then you're not going to be able to answer that question. Okay, so here is the way that I like to teach people how to work a map. I like to think of it not in terms of the actual map, but in terms of geometric shapes. And if you can start to identify some of the countries according to their location, then you'll be able to reference those countries and know where the other countries lie in relation to that. Okay, so if we start down at the bottom here, this gray box, this is one of the four signpost countries. This is Spain. Above Spain is the second large signpost country in Western Europe, and that country is France. And then we have in the north, the biggest of the signpost countries, Germany, and then underneath Germany, the fourth signpost country is Austria-Hungary. You'll notice that all four of these countries are roughly the same size in terms of territorial area. They're not the biggest countries. You can see that over here this country is much bigger, and down here this country is much bigger. Okay, so in order to be able to start to understand where are the countries in Western Europe, you first need to be able to identify these four signpost states. Some of them are more important than others, you'll see in our study. Okay, so generally speaking then, Germany and Austria-Hungary, France and Spain are in an area called Western Europe. And over here we have part of Austria-Hungary, but mostly this big country up here, which happens to be Russia, and the Ottoman Empire down here. This is Eastern Europe. And then of course we have this area down here we've already talked about in terms of the causes or the catalyst of World War I. We see this country here, Serbia. It's part of what's called the Balkan region. Okay, so that if I take away the names and just put numbers up for the signpost states, ask yourself, do you know the name of signpost country number 1, 2, 3, and 4? Okay, so if you take a moment just to write down the first letter of each of those countries, we'll see how you do. Country number 1 is Spain. Country number 2 is France. Country number 3 is Germany. And country number 4, Austria-Hungary. Okay, so once you know the four signpost countries, then the clutter of all of these different nation states that make up Europe in 1914 becomes a lot easier, because now you can learn, for example, this country here, Portugal, you know that it's beside one of the signpost countries, which is Spain. Okay, up here you can see France, and you can see that there are 3 small countries in its northwestern region, and you can see that Belgium, the Netherlands, and Luxembourg. Sorry about that, I lost my cursor. Belgium, the Netherlands, and Luxembourg. Okay, you can see here Britain. In the era earlier, we used to talk about Great Britain. Nowadays they talk about the United Kingdom or the UK. Either Britain or the United Kingdom is correct in Socials 11. Here you can see Germany and one big country off to its side, Russia, and then of course below it is Austria-Hungary. When we get down into the Balkan region, you can see that there's Bosnia and Croatia, Albania, and then Serbia. And then over here we've got Bulgaria and Romania, okay? So you'll notice that I've taken the countries and I've color-coded them, right? So why is Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy labeled in black? Well, because those are the members of the Triple Alliance. You can see here that some other countries are labeled in gray, okay? We've got Bosnia in gray, we've got Bulgaria in gray, and Ottoman Empire in gray. So that would suggest that these three countries were aligned with Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy, even though they weren't formally in the Triple Alliance. Okay, so likewise over here we've got Great Britain and France and Russia. They're in red because they're the Triple Entente, but below them you can see that Romania and Serbia are in pink, okay, and Belgium over here is in pink, and Portugal over here is in pink because those countries were allied with the Triple Entente nations. Okay, so why do you suppose some countries are in green? Spain, one of our signpost countries, is in green. The Netherlands is green. Denmark above Germany is in green. Luxembourg is in green. Switzerland is in green. Croatia, Albania, and Greece, they're all in green. And the reason for that is because they're, of course, neutral. Okay, so now knowing that, we can go to a new slide, and you can see that some of the countries are in bold colors. We've got, for example, over here, this country in black, this country in black, and this country in black. And by now I hope that you recognize that these are the Triple Alliance countries. Okay, so in the north we have Germany. In the south, or in the center, pardon me, we have Austria-Hungary, and in the south we have Italy. Okay, to counteract the Triple Alliance on either side, we have France and Russia. Okay, and then France's ally, Great Britain. Okay, so these two countries, remember, started with the Entente Cordiale. France is feeling threatened because, remember, in 1870, Germany invaded France. They took Alsace and Lorraine, the two provinces over here. They become German territory, and so France is looking for some security. Okay, so remember, these countries down here are in gray because they're aligned with the Triple Alliance, and these countries here are in pink because they're aligned with the Triple Entente. Now things get a little bit tricky because right after the war started, Italy, which was officially a member of the Triple Alliance, it changes sides, okay, and it joins the Allies, or what come to be called the Allies in the Triple Entente, okay? Okay, so let's see how you do. If this was a quiz, and I will give you quizzes that aren't quizzes on realistic map sheets, I'll be using geometric shapes to see if you're understanding the concepts of signpost states. If I asked you to label country A, B, C, and D, how would you do? You've done this before. Get out a piece of paper, and I'll wait about 20 seconds for you to put down the first letter of each of these nation states. And so you can see that country A is, of course, Spain, country B is France, country C is Germany, and country D, Austria-Hungary. Okay, now you don't yet know about the territory that Canada fought in. However, you can by now identify these countries. So up here, country U would be Great Britain or the United Kingdom. Country Z would be France. Okay, just to the north of country Z is Belgium. Okay, this big country, another one of the signpost countries there. You can see they stick out: one signpost, two signposts, three signposts, four signposts. So the signpost country in the north is Germany, and that leaves the big signpost country underneath Germany, which is Austria-Hungary, X. And the country that flipped after the war started, Italy. So we'll give you a map of Europe, and now you should be in a position to more accurately label the countries, not from straight memorization or copying countries from one map to another map, but going through this process of first identifying the signpost countries, and then after you've identified the signpost countries, identifying the countries that touch them.